Hello, everyone. Welcome to 2D Board Gamers. My name is Dave.
And I'm Dirk.
And today we're going to look at the second Green Goblin scenario that came in the Green Goblin Scenario Pack. This one is pretty unique because they're actually double-sided villains. So we'll go over that. But yeah, so not only do your hero flip from alter ego to hero, but Green Goblin flips from villain to Norman Osborn. So that's kind of interesting. We'll see how the setup is. So first of all, we're going to look at 1A.
All right, so the hostile takeover. So whenever you set this up, you're going to want to make sure you grab Norman Osborn 1 and 2 if you're playing standard, 2 and 3 if you're playing expert. You're going to get the risky business, which is this set. You will grab a standard and counter set, either the one that comes with the base game or one of the others. We've got another video out there that shows several of the options that we've got there, including several of the ones from Con of Heroes. So you can check that out to see some of the options. And then you're going to get one modular set. The recommended one is Goblin Gimmicks, which we will go over in this video as well. As part of setup, you're going to put the criminal enterprise environment into play, and then you're going to shuffle the counter set and flip the card over. So the criminal enterprises, we'll start with that one.
So yeah, so this is an environment. So this is going to stay out. Criminal enterprises interplay with 2 per player infamy counters on it. If there are no infamy counter here's, flip Norman Osborn and criminal enterprise.
Okay, and the other side is the State of Madness. So I love the artwork on this. State of Madness enters play with 2 madness counters per player on it. And if there are no madness counters here, you're going to flip Green Goblin and State of Madness. So these kind of flip back and forth with the villain.
Yeah. All right. So that's stage 1.
All right.
B.
1B.
So it's 7 threat per player threshold, starts with 2 threat per player, adds 1 threat per player per turn, and when completed, place 1 per player infamy counters on criminal enterprises, then discard 1 card from each player's deck for each infamy counter on criminal enterprise. So it's milling your deck.
Yeah, so you're going to want to try, if you can, time it to where there's very few counters on there so you're not milling as much if possible. Okay, so if that one's completed, then you're going to flip over to the corporate accusations. And this one, basically, it's got some flavor text on it, but it reveals you'll just flip it over to side 2, or side 2B. Side 2B starts out with 1 threat per player. It has a threshold of 10 threat per player. And each round, you will get an additional 2 threat per player. And if this stage is ever completed, the players lose the game. It does have a hazard icon on it.
Okay. So stage 1A said to have Norman Osborn in play. So if you're playing standard, we've got Norman Osborn here. Stage 1, 14 hit points per player, 2 thwart, star for the asterisk. He's a businessman.
Star for the asterisk?
Star for the attack. Businessman genius, force interrupt. When Norman Osborn would attack, you place 1 infamy counter on criminal enterprise. And then when Norman Osborn would take any amount of damage, you remove that many infamy counters from criminal enterprises instead.
And remember, that's the one that coincides with Norman.
Yeah.
So if you ever have to flip him over, then he becomes the Green Goblin. He will have 14 hit points per player. He thwarts for X or for star. He attacks for 3. And whenever you reveal him, you're going to deal 3 indirect damage to each player in hero form. So of note, if you're in alter ego form, you won't take the damage. So if you time it right, you can prevent that. But as a force interrupt, whenever he would scheme, instead you're going to remove 1 madness counter from the State of Madness instead, which of course that is
wrong side. Yep.
The villain side.
Right. And then if this runs out of madness counters, then you flip Green Goblin back to Norman and you flip the State of Madness back to criminal enterprise.
Yep.
So you're taking a lot of damage when he flips. So the idea is to try to defeat him, instead of letting him flip back and forth, because every time he flips back to Green Goblin, you're going to take damage.
Yep.
All right. Then we got stage 2 here, which is, of course, the second stage in standard. 18 hit points per player, 2 thwart, star for the attack. Businessman genius, force interrupt. When Norman Osborn would attack, you place 2 infamy counters on criminal enterprise instead. And when Norman Osborn would take any amount of damage, remove that many infamy counters from the criminal enterprises instead.
All right. And the goblin side of this, He thwarts for star again. He attacks for 4 this time. When revealed, you're going to deal 4 damage, indirect damage to each player. And this is player now, not hero. And forced interrupt. Whenever he would scheme, you're going to remove 1 madness counter from the state of madness instead.
Okay. And then stage 3, Norman, is 22 hit points per player, 3 thwart, again, a star for the attack. When Norman Osborn would attack, place 3 infamy counters on criminal enterprises instead. And force interrupt, when Norman Osborn would take any amount of damage, remove that many infamy counters from the criminal enterprise instead.
And the goblin side, he whenever you reveal this one, you're going to deal 4 damage to each player. He still schemes. The thwart is still star, and it's going to be the same, but he will attack for 4 this time. And again, now you're removing 2 madness counters from the state of madness instead.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, he's a pretty big hit point battery, but the idea is to try to keep him from flipping back and forth because you're just going to take a lot of damage. So hopefully you've got some out when you flip him to Green Goblin, you got some alpha attacks ready each player.
Yeah. Now we have taken advantage of like letting them, flip a time or two in the beginning, while we set up, but then we try not to keep letting that happen.
Leave him in Norman,
Yeah.
until you're built up. All right. Then we got 3 copies of Hired Gun, 2 scheme, 2 attack, 3 hit points. Criminal, when revealed, choose to either give the villain 1 face down boost or place 2 infamy counters on criminal enterprises. So this is making it harder to flip them. And as a boost, place 1 infamy counter on criminal enterprises. If you cannot, you remove 1 madness counter from State of Madness.
Okay. Then we've got 4 copies of the Private Security Specialist. This is a mercenary minion with 4 hit points, schemes for 0, attacks for 1, and he has guard. And then as a boost, you'll place an infamy counter on the criminal enterprise, and if you can't do that, you're going to remove a madness counter from the state of madness instead.
Okay. Then we got a side scheme here. It's got some kind of symbol that Dirk doesn't know. And
I know what the crisis symbol is.
oh, wow.
Sometimes, most of the time.
Sometimes. Apparently in this video, he does. Yeah, so it starts with 2 threat per player. And as a boost, place 1 infamy counter on criminal enterprises. If you cannot, you remove 1 madness counter from State of Madness. So it's always manipulating the environment.
Yep. All right. Then we've got 2 copies of the Oscorp manufacturing side scheme. This one, whenever it's revealed, when revealed, if Norman Osborn is out, that you're going to place 1 additional threat per player here. It's base of 2 threat per player, and it has an acceleration token on it.
Okay. Then we got 2 copies of Payoff. It comes in with a hazard, 2 threat per player, boost, place 1 infamy counter on criminal enterprises. If you cannot, remove 1 madness counter.
All right, we've got 4 copies of All in a Day's Work. So this one, this treachery, it's whenever it's revealed, you're going to place 2 infamy counters. And if you can't do that, you're going to remove 2 madness counters. If it comes out as a boost, it's 1 infamy counter or 1 madness counter instead.
Okay. Then we got 2 copies of Mad Genius. When revealed, if it's Green Goblin attacks the hero with the fewest hit points remaining. If no attack was made this way, the card gains surge. And if he's Norman Osborn, discard the top card of your deck for each infamy counter on criminal enterprises.
Yeah, and of note is because it's attacking whoever's got the fewest hit points, doesn't have to be the active player. We have seen this kill players in a heartbeat.
Yeah. All right. Then he comes with Goblin Gimmicks. So there's 2 copies of Goblin Glider. Attached to the enemy with the highest printed hit points and without another Goblin Glider. Usually it's going to be Green Goblin himself. If you cannot, this card gains surge and you spend 2 energy to discard it.
And it gives him +1 attack while he's got it attached.
Yep.
Then we've got 2 copies of Pumpkin Bombs here. The attack on these is a star. You'll attach this to the villain. And as a force response, after the villain attacks you, you're going to discard Pumpkin Bombs and take 2 indirect damage. And as a hero action, you can spend 2 strength to discard this card.
Okay. Then we got 2 copies of Intimidation. When revealed, choose to either spend 2 resources of any type or give the villain a face-down boost card. And if it's a boost, you're giving the villain an additional boost card for this activation.
Okay. We have got regenerative healing. So when this treachery is revealed, the villain is going to heal X damage, where X is equal to double the villain's stage number. And if no damage is healed this way, the card's going to get Surge. There's 2 copies of this. And as a boost, the villain is going to heal 2 damage.
All right. So personally, I like the other scenario over this one. I mean, this one's not horrible, but the kind of we've kind of found a way to
We've kind of gamed this one a little bit.
Game it by just waiting, get your kit all built up, and then when you're ready, you flip them to Green Goblin, you take the damage, and then hopefully you kill him. The intention is to that the mana counters will go away, and then you'll flip, and then if you just do a couple little tiny attacks and he keeps flipping back and forth, you're going to be taking a lot of damage, and you're going to need to heal a lot.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's set up, do some big swings before you flip him the first time, and then try to take him out as quickly as possible. Yeah. That's kind of what we've done with them. So,
yeah. And I haven't found really a modular set that, I mean, you put a tougher modular set in, he's going to be tougher. You put in some big, beefy minions or something, and that's going to distract you from attacking him. So that's probably the best way to make the scenario harder. But in my opinion, this is kind of one of the easier scenarios. It's not super easy because, I mean, it can mess you up, but it's really the worst case is you got a bunch of infamy counters on him, on the criminal enterprises, and you're milling your deck, so you're going to get a counter card at the end. But I haven't seen any super big penalties. There's been a couple of player content stuff that make it so where he flips more often, or you put some crisis, that would be the other thing. If you put crisis on, a modular set that has a lot of crisis icons, that could slow you down because you can't keep the main scheme under control, So yeah, anyways, so that was Risky Business. Not the movie. Thank you. Thank you for watching, everyone.
All right.
Please like and subscribe.
And if you want to see more content by us, go ahead and hit that notification bell down there, and you'll get alerts whenever we post new videos. All right. See ya.